Uh, Alright, so themes for this book I did fear and strength. For fear, it was I mostly used it in the view of Dorothy, like when she was younger and passed around and stuff, And on page 151, after she was raped and abused, um, she says, "I could see that as bad as the situation is, it's about to get worse. I don't want to stay here, but how can I survive out there?" And that's when the wife came in and kicked her out, made her leave. And then another example I have for fear is when she walked to the schoolhouse after she got kicked out, and she was telling her teacher what happened, and she says tears spring to my eyes. I'm not going back there. I can't. So that was my main few points for fear.
I think going off of fear is, or part of where her fear comes from, even when she's an adult, is dealing with her past. And it works for both Molly and Vivian because they have things from their past that they don't want to deal with, like Molly and her mom. And then part of the reason I think Vivian was going through all the boxes is that filling her attic with all the stuff represented all of the things that she didn't want to deal with from her past. She just kind of kept them literally boxed away in her attic.
But I think her doing that, her bringing Molly up there and them looking through all of it, do you think that's a way for her to cope with her past and get over it type of thing?
I feel like she's finally coming face to face.
To terms with what happened and everything.
Yeah.
Because she was even talking about how she didn't tell her husband any of the stuff that they that she had to go through when she was younger. She didn't thinking about it.
Yeah, and then she finally starts to share her story with Molly because they have a lot.
They're yeah. And then for strength, I did when Dorothy, whatever they want to call her, was talking to her teacher, and her teacher was like, what's going on? Is everything okay at home? And obviously nothing was okay at home, but she said, "No, ma'am, everything's fine." And then she said, "I don't want Miss Larson to feel bad for me. I want to be treated like everybody else," which is I see strength in that because obviously she's not like everybody else, and she's going through a lot more than most people are, but she still wants to be treated as if she's normal, which is
she doesn't want to be pitied.
Yeah. And then another one I had is when she got kicked out of the house, and then she was walking down the street. She said, "I'm not afraid. It was more frightening in that shack than it is on the road." So she was out in a snowstorm in the middle of a foreign place, and she was freezing, not very clothed, and she wasn't afraid.
And they've been through a lot, but I don't think the average person can physically endure, especially because how old is she?
She's 10 at this point.
One of my themes that I put was portaging, which is being on a journey.
Yeah, didn't she have a
that's what her project was called, and that's I think one of the major themes in it because they both move or are moved multiple times, and they're nowhere near their original homes, and both of them because of all the moves, especially on a child, I think it takes an emotional toll.
Oh yeah.
And for Molly, it causes her to build up this wall and this fake identity that isn't really her. And she even says later that being the whole dog thing, she feels she's playing a part, just not really her.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah. And then the quote in the beginning of the book, it says fear is often the most difficult burden to surrender, which I think knows her whole story.
I think that theme is carried through the whole story.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think Vicky Good said he must be she's been through a lot. She puts up I know we talked about last time, she put up something that she wants, we want to it's like scary, so I
See who she is.
Um, for like a connection to another book, do you guys ever read The Boy Called It?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I compared it to that because I said like I mean in this sense in this book we're reading right now there's like two main characters, you know, and they both have their life stories. So I said like all the kids in both of the books are abused and they're like mentally abused and like neglected and like they get like dehumanized a lot. And on page 96 and it was Dorothy's part when she was living with the first family and you know she had to do like the sewing job
Which, like,
whatever.
worked for them.
Yeah, and she was asking the family to like send her to school because like that's what they're supposed to do. And what's the lady's name? That like yeah, so I don't know her actual name, something like that. But she says, "You insolent girl, I don't want to hear another word. We're the ones who decides what's best for you. Is that clear?" So like I think they're like stripping her of her rights. Like they don't know her and like they don't care about her, but like they get to decide. Yeah, they get to decide like what's best for her. Like that's not really fair. And then another like connection from those two books is when she's at school and Miss Larson asks, "Is it difficult to keep clean?" And she says, "No, ma'am," because like in a boy called It, he was like constantly like he had his guard up. He would never like tell anybody like what's really going on in fear that like he was gonna get even more hurt. So I think that she was almost afraid that Miss Larson would go back to like the family, say something, and then she would and then Dorothy would later get like punished for like
Like, it would make it.
yeah
worse
for like
her at home.
for like tattling almost. Um,
The book that I said it was like, well, I related it back to the Glass Castle. Because they moved a lot, like around a lot, and like obviously it wasn't the best childhood for either of them. And then the quote I put it related to is on page 10. It says, Molly learned long ago that a lot of the heartbreaking betrayal that other people fear their entire lives she had already faced. Like her father's dead and her mother's gone. Which, like, in the Glass Castle, like at first, like her parents are there, but like we talked about it like multiple times that they weren't like actually there.
yeah.
And then Molly, obviously, her dad's dead, and then her mom's in jail for drug use. So I feel like they have a lot in common.
Especially with like the abuse that they both went through, like living and what was her name? Jeanette, that's what it was. Yeah, like for the abuse and her parents not really sticking up for her, and especially that like I don't know, it was just.
You want to do the last one?
How is this book related to life of a high school senior?
This one, God, I don't really know, but I said like as a senior, we're preparing for like the next phase of our lives. We need to be like ready, and like we need to be accepting of like what's gonna come, and like regardless of like if we wanted to or not, like we need to move on to the next phase of our life. And I said like in Molly's case, she's like messed up a ton, and she's been passed around family to family. And when she messed up, like when she like got caught for trying to steal the book, she was just like expecting to like be abandoned again. And I don't know. I think like a big like thing is like acceptance. Like we're accepting that like we have to like move on, and like in this case, like she was too. So I said like seniors are accepting that like our lives are gonna change, and like Molly is as well. When she like got caught, she said, "But I understand if you want me to leave, I'll find something else." Like it was, she was always like offering it up, like she was like, "If you're gonna do it, like I'll just do it anyway. Like I'll just like find something else anyway. Like it's okay." Blah blah blah.
I think another way it relates to high school is that like she's trying to find herself, and like they always say like high school, like you're trying to find yourself and whatever. But I don't know. I feel like she, especially like with how she's grown up or whatever and moving around, she feels pretty lost and like doesn't really have her own identity,
Yeah.
and she's trying to find that.
And like she's also in high school, you
Yeah.
know, so like she's going through like the regular like high school struggles along with like other things outside of school, including like her family situation and all that.
I was thinking actually kind of what you were saying, Katie. Just to move on from like her past and like
Yeah.
a new chapter in her life and like I don't know, kind of just move on from what happened and realize that she is accepted.
Yeah.
It's like what we're doing, like we're moving on to like
Right.
the next step and like
Exactly.
And hers is more like mental, but like ours is, you know, like physical, like we have to go to college or like get a job, stuff like that. But like hers is just like overcoming like herself.
Yeah. But if you think about it, like it could also be like mentally for us because we have some mental.
No, it is.
Yeah. No.
Alright, are we good to go?